the Nonprofit Podcast, powered by Donorbox.
Is getting your CFRE just about adding another title to your name a nice to have, or does it actually make a difference in your daily work as a nonprofit fundraiser? Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Britt, fundraising strategist at Donorbox. We're here each week with practical actions you can use today to increase donations and take your nonprofit to the next level tomorrow. You know, this time of year can feel like we're all sprinting a marathon. We're juggling campaigns, events, donor outreach, but sometimes in the middle of all of this hustle, it's important to take a moment for a bit of self-care. And no, I am not talking about a spa day, though that absolutely sounds lovely. I'm talking about investing in yourself by planning your career steps for next year. That's why I'm tackling a topic that could be a game changer for you and the communities you serve. The CFRE certification. You might be wondering, what exactly is it? Why the heck does it even matter? And is it really worth my time and energy? And why are we talking about this now? Well, don't you worry, because I'm here to break it down. I'm here to help you figure out whether pursuing your CFRE is a right move for you and how it can amplify your organization's impact in the long run. So let's get started with the basics. What exactly is CFRE? CFRE, it stands for Certified Fundraising Executive. It is a professional certification for fundraisers. We know it's administered by CFRE International, and it is recognized globally. And I think that's so important because when you're working in fundraising, especially in today's world where we know trust is a big deal, having a certification that says, I know what I'm doing and I know I'm doing it ethically, it makes a huge difference. But I know what you're thinking. Do I really need another title or certification after my name? Is it really worth it? And, that's a fair question. So here is my honest take. It depends on where you're at in your career and what your goals are. If you're in a nonprofit leadership role or if you're looking to move up, getting your CFRE can absolutely set you apart. When you're out there applying for jobs or even asking for a pay raise, having that CFRE, it says a lot without you having to say much at all. Because it's going to show that you're committed to professional growth, it's going to show that you value ethics, and most of all, accountability. In fact, many organizations prioritize CFRE certified candidates when they're hiring for fundraising roles, and some we know they even require it for leadership positions. And let's be real, having those letters after your name can lead to a higher salary too. We know there's research out there that shows CFRE certified fundraisers, they tend to earn more than their non-certified counterparts. And speaking of considering, how do you know if it's the right step for you? Well, let's talk about this. We know we're in the middle of giving season rush. Taking a moment to think about your future could be one of the best gifts that you give yourself and that you give to your organization. Planning for professional development now can set you up for success next year and beyond. And the CFRE, it isn't just about memorizing fundraising jargon, right? It is about mastering the art of relationship building, understanding donor motivations, and doing it all with ethics at the core. It's going to give you the tools to not only raise more funds, but it will really build those lasting, trusting, deeper impact relationships for the causes that you love and that you represent. So let's flip the conversation a bit. Maybe you're not sure if you want this certification for yourself, but what about your team? So let's look beyond the personal benefits. Let's talk about how it impacts your team. When you've gone through the CFRE process, you come out with a deeper understanding of fundraising strategy, donor psychology, most importantly, as we talked about, ethical fundraising practices. This doesn't just help you, because when one person on the team is CFRE certified, it raises the bar for everyone else. You become a resource for your colleagues, someone who can lead with knowledge, confidence, and integrity, And that rubs off on everyone around you. It's magic. Imagine the value you can bring by applying what you've learned in strategic planning, campaign execution, donor engagement, not just for one campaign, but for the long haul. Now, I won't lie to you. It is an investment. Getting your CFRE requires a commitment. I've been there. I've done this. You need to have a few years of experience under your belt, log a certain number of education hours, and track your professional development points. Gosh, I remember devoting every Friday for 2 to 3 hours. Each week, I was reading CFRE's recommended reading list, taking practice exams, making all of those vocabulary index cards, and I even joined a virtual study group. I think back, and if I hadn't intentionally carved out that time for my schedule, I absolutely wouldn't have been in a position to be prepared. And for many of us, let's be real, studying and taking the exam can feel like a challenge, especially if you're in the busiest season of your life, you're juggling personal matters. That might be full-time parenting, we're caring for aging parents, or even managing our pets. Plus, there's the cost of the exam and the application. But let me tell you, the payoff is there, especially if you're someone who's passionate about building a career in fundraising. Many organizations will actually reimburse you for the cost, so something definitely to consider if this is the path you're considering. And let's acknowledge that CFRE isn't for everyone. If you're anything like I was during most of my 20 years in nonprofit work, finding the time or resources for this can feel absolutely impossible, especially if you're at a small nonprofit where you're juggling a million things. I see you, friends. And let's be honest, not everyone is sold on it. There are some people that point out that the CFRE leans heavily into donor-centric fundraising, which might not fully mesh with these newer community-centric approaches that are emerging and focusing on engaging the community as partners in the work that we're doing. And so these considerations are so essential to think about in terms of how does the CFRE align with your own fundraising philosophy and what feels right for you. And so to wrap this up, if you're considering pursuing your CFRE, I say go for it. Take the leap. You've got this. And if you're feeling uncertain, that's completely okay too. Just keep reflecting on how you can grow as a fundraiser and a leader in other areas. That might be exploring the CFRE journey or other paths. We know there are leadership development courses. We know there are project management courses. What truly matters is that you stay curious, you keep learning, and you're striving to be the best for the communities that you're serving. For those of you who are interested in the CFRE, I encourage you, definitely check out their website at CFRE.org. They have so many amazing resources. Think about study materials, webinars, study groups. It can be a game changer on your certification journey. And I absolutely recommend to also visit the community-centric fundraising website at communitycentricfundraising.org. They have some fantastic insights on these emerging, evolving, very modern ways at fundraising. So friends, I would love to hear where you're at in your professional development journey. What are you planning for the year ahead? Are you exploring CFRE or another route? Please don't hesitate to reach out on social media or send us a message. I would love to hear what you have going on. Thanks for joining me on the Nonprofit Podcast. I hope you've gained some insight into whether the CFRE is a right step for you or your team. Be sure to hit that download button and leave us a review to help others find us. You're here to help others, and we're here to help you. Until next time, stay inspired.
That warm feeling when you help someone, it's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. And we believe it should be available to everyone, from frontline heroes to first-time fundraisers. Our tools empower you to help others. This is our mission. This is Donorbox, helping you help others.